Well, it says I'm live. So hello. If I'm live, please let me know. Send me a little something. And I will just say hello. It's nice to be back. It's our Tuesday Facebook Live. I'm Dr. Tom O'Brien. And is anyone out there? Oh, there's a few people. That's nice. I don't know if you saw this or not. Oh, hi, honey. I'm glad you're there. And there's Misty. You know, I tried to set this up and I hit the wrong button and I came on the screen and I had a beard and then I had those rabbit ears and all this stuff. And I hope it didn't go through, but it said live. I tried to delete, but anyway, here we are. Hello. I'm really excited about today's topic. The topic is, can I age myself younger? And the answer is absolutely you can. Hello, Linda. Linda Eichen, thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. And Jeannie from Florida, thank you. You know, it's exciting to do these things, knowing there's someone out there. Wait, I'm looking at myself again. I got to look over here. There we go. Okay, I'm looking over here now. So can I age myself younger? And I love the title. I love the concept. I have to give credit to my team, my wife, and my team that came up with this. It's great. And they didn't even know. Hello, Karen in Ontario. All right, there's our first foreigner in Ontario. Hello, Karen. No one knows this, but I used to talk about this topic back in the 1980s when I first came out and opened my practice. You know, I would walk in the treatment room. The patient would look and say, "You're the doctor?" Because I looked a little young at that time. Emmy Cox-Thurman, hi from Colorado Springs. Oh, thanks, Emmy. That's really nice of you to say that. Thank you. So this is a really important talk today. It's I think they're all important to some degree, but I think this one's really important because this sets the paradigm. This sets the whole concept of why you're doing what you're doing. So there are a couple of concepts I'm going to give you today that are going to relate to, and is that Montreal? Yeah, Linda Eichen. Oh, you're from Montreal. Hello. So you have two Canadians. Oh, thank you, Linda. I spent a summer at the University of Montreal. I rode my motorcycle up there when I was 21 years old with my bicycle tied on the back end, and I took an introductory French course up there. It was a great time, really great time. Beautiful city. So this topic is one that I would talk about often when I first opened my practice for people to get a bigger picture. And hello from Pittsburgh. Hello, Pittsburgh. Thank you. I have family in Pittsburgh, in Carnegie, and Bridgeville. And so this is a critical topic. Can I age myself younger? So I'm going to start right in. And I've put together some very extensive audio visuals, spent a lot of money and a lot of time to do this. And I'll show you the first one now. This really took a while because the first concept is like reproduces like. In biology, one cell reproduces an exact duplicate of itself, and this is what it looks like. That's one cell reproducing an exact duplicate of itself, right? That's like versus like. I think one of my staff, Hubert, will be on. He usually is. And so if Hubert, hi Mary, if Hubert sees this, he's going to pull his hair up because he's really a whiz kid tech guy. But I've created my own tech world here, Hubert. Like reproduces like. One cell always reproduces an exact duplicate of itself. Always. Always. Because, you know, I used to ask the question, if we have this deck of cards that we've been dealt in life, our genetics, and if our genetic blueprint stays the same, and we pass it on to future generations, and it actually gets worn down because of how we're living our lives, but in theory, it's supposed to be the same. How come if we start life almost perfect little human beings, how come we don't reproduce perfect cells if we've got the blueprint for perfect cells? And we do. We have the blueprint. Our genetics are for perfect cells. Our genes don't say you're supposed to have really poor functioning thyroid cells. It doesn't say that. But if you have symptoms of a thyroid imbalance, remember I've talked before, like reproduces like. One cell reproduces an exact duplicate of itself, right? Good. And if you have a thyroid that's not functioning very well, and you have symptoms of a sluggish thyroid, cold hands and feet, wear socks to bed, feel chilled most of the time, feeling sluggish, energy's not great, can't lose that last 5 pounds even if you don't eat for 2 days. Signs of poor thyroid function, not quite working up to par. Well, your deck of cards says that you're supposed to have a 10. Hello, Rosemary from Vermont. Your thyroid cells are supposed to be a 10. Here's my high tech. Well, we're all supposed to be 10s. We're supposed to have perfect cells in life. We're supposed to be 10s. How come my thyroid in this example is functioning as a 6.2? I'm making up the number, but it's not acceptable. It's not above passing, right? How come it's functioning as a 6.2? Why is that happening? So your thyroid, here's more high tech now. Your thyroid's functioning as a 6.2, right? I know, it's great. Oh, those smileys are fun. Thank you. It encourages me to do more of this silly stuff. But it's really that I want to get the point across. If I can keep you laughing and make this humorous, people won't start crying, because it's reversible. You can age yourself younger. So you're functioning as a 6.2 right now. So what happens when you're functioning as a 6.2? And you've heard me say, Mrs. Patient, you have an entire new body every 7 years. Some cells reproduce very quickly, like the inside lining of your gut is every 3 to 5 days. Some cells are very slow, like your bone cells, but every 7 years you have new cells. Well, if your thyroid is functioning as a 6.2, how come it doesn't reproduce as a 10 when you make a new cell? How come it reproduces as a 6.2? Really good question. But what happens, the lifestyle that has brought you to a 6.2, which is I have cold feet at night, didn't realize my thyroid, and I take thyroid medicine. Well, Kathy, that's very common. The meds don't fix this. Your problem is not a lack of meds, most likely, if you still have the symptoms. So why doesn't my body reproduce a 10? Even though my thyroid's functioning as a 6.2, if my genetic makeup, if my DNA says perfect cells, how come, is that my, Sean, way to go. Hey, that's my nephew that's here. Hi, Sean. Great. So if my thyroid is functioning as a 6.2 and every cell reproduces, you regenerate a new body every 7 years, some cells really quick, how come when my thyroid cells reproduce, they don't reproduce as a 10? Why do they reproduce as a 6.2? It's because the lifestyle that's causing you to wear down continues. And when the lifestyle continues to wear you down, whether it's a food sensitivity like wheat sensitivity, or not enough sleep, or with the thyroid a sensitivity to chlorine or fluoride, or there are many triggers, and we're not talking about the triggers today for any one disease, but if the lifestyle, if the environmental exposures continue, if you have mercury toxicity and the mercury's in your body, hello from British Columbia, Karen, hello. So your 6.2, here comes high tech again, your 6.2 reproduces as a 6.1. When that thyroid cell reproduces, that 6.1 reproduces as a 6.1. But the lifestyle continues the same, so you start functioning as a 6.0. When the 6.0 reproduces, it reproduces as a 6.0, not a 6.1. And this is the process of getting old. From a 6.0 to a 5.9, it reproduces as a 5.9, 5.9 goes to a 5.8, reproduces as a 5.8, then 5.7. What are you saying there, Sean? What are you saying? Absolutely crushing the live videos. Thanks, Sean. Merry Christmas to you too, man. Thank you. That's really great. 5.7, 5.6. And this is the process. Here comes some more high tech. This is a process. It's called a catabolic process. This is getting old. This is how you age, is that your cells get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. That's the aging process. It's called catabolism, that your body is wearing down. Okay, does that make sense to you? Give me some little love things or something if you get it. The image of you is reversed, Dr. Tom, because the digits are all backwards. Could it just be me? Well, it might be, but I doubt it, Rosemary. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know how to write them the other way. So Hubert, you have to tell me how to do this so I don't reverse people anymore. If we have a complete new body every 7 years, why can't I get my 2003 body back? Vasco, that's the question. That's exactly the question that you can answer here. How do you get your 2003 body back? Okay, Zamara says that it's backwards. Okay, guys, sorry, I don't know what to do about that. You'll have to just understand what I'm saying for now, and I will up the tech game for next time. I will do my best to up the tech game. But that's the process of getting old, a catabolic process. Now what happens, wait a minute, I've just read, shameless plug, you've just read The Autoimmune Fix. Hello from Ireland, Fiona, hi. Oh, that's fine, Fiona, have a good night's sleep, but thank you for checking in, and yes, it'll be there tomorrow for you to watch. So you've just read The Autoimmune Fix. You've got, wow, there's a bunch of things that I can do. You realize by reading the book, you apply a few of the principles. In a couple of weeks, you're starting to feel better. Now your thyroid that's down to a 6.0, it reproduces a 6.0, but now the environment's changing. You start functioning as a 6.1. And the 6.1 reproduces as a 6.1. Then you function as a 6.2, and the 6.2 reproduces as a 6.2. And the 6.3 reproduces as a 6.3, and then to a 7, and then a 7.1, and a 7.5. This is reversed, so I won't do this because that won't work. But the numbers are reversed. But the idea is you're going up. When you change the lifestyle triggers that are causing the catabolic process and implement lifestyle habits that encourage what's called an anabolic process. An anabolic process. Oh, that's going to be reversed to you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know. But it's getting younger. So you want to reverse the catabolic process and turn it into an anabolic process. That's why 6 months into the programs that we talk about, 6 months in there, and you haven't seen somebody 6 months, they say, wow, you look really different. What happened to you? Because your skin's different. You're emanating more energy out of your just persona, who you are. Your energy's up. Your hair's got a nice sheen to it. I don't know. It's got something to it. You look better. I don't know what it is, but you look better. It's because you're regenerating healthier cells. Do you guys get this? Do you get this concept? Let me know if you get this. Oh, Zarmar, thanks for the comment about the book. And Rosemary saying, if that's a Sharpie that soaks through the paper, you could just flip the sheets over. Oh, well, it was a Sharpie. Well, thank you. I'll look at it. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up on that. Thank you. And thanks, Christy, for letting me know that. Thank you. Critical process. Critical. And Juliana says, makes sense. Yes, it makes sense. I mean, this is how you get healthier. And what's the reason to get healthier? You know, it was James Fries, Dr. James Fries, wrote a paper in the New England Journal of Medicine back in 1980. He identified a concept that clinicians have talked about for years and years. My mentor, Dr. Goodhart, used to talk about this, but Fries was the first one that put it in writing in a medical journal. He talked about organ reserve. How much reserve energy is in the gas tank of your liver? How much reserve energy is in the gas tank of your thyroid? How much reserve energy is in the gas tank of your heart? What is your organ reserve? And most of you are going to go, ooh, to what I'm about to say, but this is a fact, Jack. That is, your grandfathers or your great-grandfathers, when they'd go hunting to find food for the table, the prized parts of the animal that they harvested, the prized parts are the organs. The heart, the liver, the kidneys, the organs. That's where the power is in the animal. The rest of it, the steaks and the muscle was, they jerk it for the wintertime when there was nothing else available. The organ meats were the high quality. Now in today's world, you can't really do that very easily unless you have access to an organic animal. And if you do, that's great. Vasco says, my name is Jack and I hate facts. Well, Vasco, all right, that's cute. Thanks. So it's the organ reserve. When you build your organ reserve, you change the direction of your health destiny. Critical concept. That's why some of you, well, if you read the book, you see it's in the book. Shameless plug, Autoimmune Fix. Everyone needs to read it. When you read the book, you'll read about what's the most powerful meat that you can feed to your family or for yourself to eat. The most powerful meat is the heart. Why? Because the mitochondria, the furnaces in every cell of your body, they generate the energy in every cell of your body. The highest concentration of mitochondria is in the heart. More mitochondria per gram of tissue than any other meat in the body. Anything else, the heart, by far, more energy producing than anything else. So what do? I get the heart of an animal plus some of the steak. I have the butcher grind them up together, 50-50, half heart, half ground meat, grind them up together, put them in 1 pound packages in freezer wrap, and I freeze them. And that's your hamburgers that you make. That's the meatloaf that you make. That's the meat for the meat sauce for your spaghetti that you make. And your kids will love it. Fabsco's good. He says, now I know why my ex-wife ate my heart. Sorry, man. That's cute, but I'm sorry if that was the case. But you grind together the heart and the ground meat, the steak of an animal, grind it up together, 1 pound packages, freezer wrap, keep them in your freezer, and you use that to make your hamburgers and things. Your kids will love it. It tastes really great. It doesn't taste weird at all. Thank you, Michelle, for you watch my videos all the time, and in the car, no one gets to listen to music. Thank you so much. Well, sorry for Michelle's family that you have to listen to this, but hopefully you'll pick up on something. So the idea of the ground meat, because that's the organs, is the organ reserve. So how do you build your organ reserve? Why do you want to consider building your organ reserve in your body? Because you get younger. You get younger, you get stronger, you get more endurance, you get more vitality when you're building your organ reserve. So many docs, my friend Dr. Alan Christensen is the expert on rebuilding the adrenal glands. Alan has some great programs that you can download where he goes through, like we did with betrayal, the autoimmune disease solution they're not telling you, right? We talked about autoimmunity. Alan talks about the adrenals. He has a whole summit for that. It was a great, great summit. And if you want to learn more about adrenal function. Is it expensive to grind beef like that? No, Karen, you just have to find the butcher that'll do it. So Ziomara Goodman says, so to build my liver, I should consume organic liver? Yes. Yes, the thing about liver that has me cautious is that the liver is the oil filter in your body. It's the oil filter, which means it filters all the crud that the animal gets. Now, if you have an organic animal eating grass-fed beef, that's really safe. If you've got the standard cow that's fed corn and injected with hormone, and all the garbage that most of the meat is in this country, then I wouldn't eat the liver. But if you've got an organic cow, I would, without hesitancy. And I've not tried mixing liver with ground meat, but I do it with the heart, and it's the prized meat to me. There's nothing I enjoy more than the heart ground meat mixed together, 50-50. And butchers will do it for you. You just have to find your local hometown butcher. Big supermarkets are not as likely to. Although Marcy, my wife, found our supermarket here, Jimbo's, the butchers were really happy to do it for us. And we ordered an organic cow from them, organic heart, and ground meat. I think it's, so. He said, "How much ground meat do you want?" I think she said, "Well, if the heart weighs 10 pounds, we want 10 pounds of ground meat, and do it 50-50." And so, and it's just delicious. Okay, so that's the organ reserve concept. Why is that important? James Fries, when he talked about organ reserve, when he introduced the concept in 1980, he then did a study for the next 18 years of professors at the university that he was at. And he followed them for years and for 18 years. And he looked to see those that had healthy lifestyle habits. He called it health-related risks. Those that have fewer health-related risks. had longer lives and longer vital lives, functioning lives, really fully functional in their 80s and 90s, if they had fewer health-related risks in their mid-years. What does that mean? They weren't smoking, they weren't overweight, and they exercised. So those are the three that he looked at, and he said the way he categorized it was health-related risks of smoking, overweight, and inactivity. And for those that had those health-related risks, the more of those they had, the less likely they were to survive or to thrive. Meaning, even if they were living 18 years later, they were on a number of meds, they couldn't walk very well, their brains were going, whatever their weak link in their chain was. Those that had less health-related risks had more vital, vibrant lives. And so, here's some more high tech for you. This is the average in our life today. We're born pretty close to perfect health. We just have to develop the organs and things and the muscles more, but up until the age of about 24, 25, we plateau, and then it's all downhill, and it's all the way downhill until we die. That's the common scenario. But when you apply these principles, as I'm showing you here, this is what happens. Born about the same, pretty close to perfect health, you develop your organs and stuff, and now in the early, your 30s and 40s, you go down a little bit, but you've got full function, full vitality, and then your period of disability is really short. It's like you hear people that go to sleep one night and they don't wake up, or someone had a heart attack and they were gone in 3 days, or someone's diagnosed with cancer and they're gone in 2 months, as opposed to years and years of debilitation. So, we're all going to die at some point. I mean, it's silly not to just recognize it and think of what kind of a life do I want? Do I want to be functioning and fully functional in my 60s and 70s and 80s? Hard for me to say my 60s because I'm 66 soon, but it's what do you want? What do you want? And the way you get to be fully functional until whenever your end is, or with a very short period of disability, is by building your organ reserve. And the way you build your organ reserve, the first step in building your organ reserve is stop the lifestyle habits that deplete you. And the way you learn how to stop the lifestyle habits that deplete you is by reading this book and watching these videos and spending 1 hour a week just learning a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. 1 hour a week, every week. Organic is just one of a variety of lifestyle changes needed to reclaim your life from autoimmune disease. Thank you, Rosemary Moser. High five to you, girl. You're absolutely right, of course. But, we can't do it all here in 30 minutes. And Karen says, I just don't want to suffer for years before I die. Amen, Karen. That's exactly right. And this is how you prevent that. This is the best that I know. And what the science says is, how do you age younger? Is that you start building organ reserve. So what does that mean? Well, if you have access to it, you get good organ meats. But the first thing to do is stop throwing gasoline on the fire. You've heard me say that many, many times. Stop throwing gasoline on the fire. So you have to find out, what are the things causing the inflammation in my life? Why do I have these autoimmune mechanisms going on? What is it that's going on in my body? So you have to explore to find out. And when you find it, you got mercury toxicity, get the mercury out. And then ask the question, where's the mercury coming from? Stop eating tuna, unless you're getting Ventresca from Vital Choice. And you've heard me talk about that a couple of weeks ago. So Missy says, love the book. The information with big hearts. Thank you, Missy. Thank you so much. And Vasco, I know you're joking. I know. So that's a big picture concept that's really important. And everybody wants the life jacket. Everyone wants. Well, what's the pill? What's the pill I take? How do I do that? How do I? What's the pill? Because everybody wants to live the lifestyle they're living, not change the lifestyle, and give me a drug so that it's going to work. It'll take care of this problem I got. Just give me this drug. I was talking to someone on the plane today. I just flew back from Chicago today, and the guy sitting next to me on the plane was very much in that mindset. and very happy that he's functioning pretty good. And I said, well, what does pretty good mean? And, he didn't know what he was getting into, right? And he's on 3 meds because he's got diabetes. I love the diabetics. My grandmother lived to be 104 without a single sick day. My idol. Absolutely, Tracy, absolutely. But your grandmother didn't have the toxic chemical exposures that you've had in your lifetime. So don't use that as a rationale to live less than the optimum lifestyle. You can't justify ding-dongs and chocolate chip cookies because grandma lived to 104. That doesn't cut it, right? It just won't cut it. Chicho Leo says, who is the adrenal doc again? Alan Christensen. Alan Christensen, great guy, good friend. Google Alan Christensen adrenals and he'll pop up for you. Yes. So we have to adjust the lifestyle because we're going this way, and it doesn't just go like this, right? When you're going this way, we have to taper it off and then roll it up like this. And you've heard me say, and it's in the book, shameless plug, it's in the book, 3 weeks is all it takes to notice a change if you do it comprehensively enough. You're not fixed in 3 weeks, but you should notice within 3 weeks, I'm feeling better. I'm on the right track here. This is working. I'm going to stay with this. And if you don't notice that, then we missed something. Then there's something else that we didn't quite catch a hold of. Okay, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say today because it's a really big concept, really big one, is this idea of organ reserve, building your organ reserve. And we'll do another one, follow up on how do you build organ reserve in more detail. So, thank you for the hearts and thank you for the smileys. So I will just say thank you very much once again for the privilege of talking to you. And please like us here on Facebook. I always forget to ask you guys for that. And share these videos. Sometimes we'll have 200 people that are watching, and sometimes we've got 5,000. Obviously, I want more people listening so that they can implement these ideas in their life so we can save the planet. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you next week at the same time. May I wish you all today, Happy Hanukkah today, and a very Merry Christmas. Thanks. Bye-bye.